Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Cap of the World. My name is Bobby Davis, the founder of Coder Foundry. And Kevin, today is the day we're getting that Lambo. This is what we're building. It's going to get us both
Is it?
Lambos.
Is it?
Yeah.
If
The only thing I didn't like about the card is it's not Coder Foundry orange. We're getting an orange Lambo.
yeah, I did see they do make it in orange, by the way. It's a Lamborghini Huracan on the card, and yeah, it's probably the most cringiest title and card we've ever put on YouTube, and I take full responsibility for that. Because I was like, let's do one of these like weird vibe coding sessions. You're like, okay, and I was like, let's say we're gonna get a Lambo. Like, yeah, okay.
This thing we're going to build is going to lead us to Lambo money. That's exactly what's going to happen. So
sure, sure.
That's and everyone that copies it will get Lambo money. That's how it. That's
is that it? Is that our goal here?
Yeah.
Is that a goal? Okay. So we are vibe coding today. So I wanted to start off with what we are doing and what we're not doing. So vibe coding, a term that is brand new. It's like a month old, right?
Yeah.
It is literally a month old. You've probably seen it around if you've been on social media. Those either on social media or whatever, or on YouTube or whatever. You've probably seen people talking about this. But I want to talk about what it was. So this is now its official dictionary definition, by the way. This is Merriam-Webster. This got added. That's how quick they are these days. So vibe coding is a noun, and it is writing computer code in a somewhat careless fashion with AI assistance. It's basically just kind of like using a tool, which in our case, we are going to be using this cursor.
Yep,
and yeah, we're going to use cursor, and you're going to use the built-in AI that's in there, which includes a whole bunch of different ones. You can use OpenAI and Claude and all these. There's a cursor one as well. We're going to probably switch some of those up as we go, and you're going to vibe code something. And I set you these rules, and the rules are you're not allowed to mess with the code. So even though it's an IDE and you can see it and you can change stuff, if you change something, you have to change it with the AI.
Okay.
So if something's broken, the AI has to fix it. That's going to be your goal here as we make something. So we talked about this. What are we going to make?
So what I come up with is one of the things here at CodeFounder, we make this movie API application. So like we do it in WebAssembly. We also do it in JavaScript. And one of the things I want to add on to that is a game section for that, because like a lot of times you can go through the app and you're like, hey, I'll show you some movie posters. I can tell you about the movie. And it's cool, but then it's like, yeah, so kind of what? So what I thought about is making a game section for that. And this is where the idea came from. It's like, what if I vibe coded the game? So I want to display a movie poster and then divide it up into grids, black it out, show one piece from it. And then you have a box where you have to type in and guess the poster name. If you get it right, it reveals it. And then each guess that goes below 5, you get 20 points deducted. So 100 for your first guess, 80, 60, 40, 20, 0. Right?
Okay. Yep.
So that's kind of what we want to do. We're going to integrate with the TMDB API. We're going to write it in plain old JavaScript, CSS, and Bootstrap. Okay. So the tech stack, I picked this tech stack for a reason. I use it, so I know it really well. But also I figured this tech stack had the best chance for AI to have training data on. Whether you like Bootstrap or not, it's probably an 80% of the websites on the web, which means tons of information about CSS, HTML, and vanilla JavaScript.
Yeah.
So we're not using React or WebAssembly or Blazor or anything like that. So
So we're not going to make it overly complex.
Yeah.
For this example.
But when you said it, you think this is pretty aggressive for Cursor, though, don't you?
Yeah, because you're using an API, which adds a level of complexity to it. It isn't just purely just front-end HTML, CSS type stuff and a little bit of JavaScript. It's you're pulling in API, so it has to understand what that is and how that works. And I think it's a little more complex than very basic, but it's not obviously a full stack app or anything crazy.
So down in the chat, tell me if you think it can do it or not. What we just described. I'm just curious what you guys think. 100% this will be successful, or we're gonna like face plant here on live YouTube. So do a face plant. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bobby downloaded Cursor this morning, so his extent of use with this tool has been hours, not even hours.
Maybe
I would say hour, maybe. So we are fresh into this, and I asked him to do that intentionally because I wanted to create this environment where it's like the promise here is that anybody can do this, right? So somebody who hasn't used the tool before should be able to download it and do this thing, and you don't have to follow 1,000,001 best practices or understand how all this stuff works to be able to get this to work. The intent here is that any random person should be able to do it. So I didn't want him to get like super comfortable with the tool. I was like, do it the morning of, and then you can figure it out, and we'll figure it out together as we do it live. That's what we're doing today.
And the other thing too that I did was I'm going to give it the best chance. I actually wrote a specification. I actually used ChatGPT to write the specification for me.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not going to read it all, but it basically is just one paragraph here. The mystery movie poster is a web-based application that challenges users to guess the title of a movie based on an obscured poster. The poster is divided into a configurable number of squares. With one section revealed for incorrect guess. The game integrates with the TMDB API to fetch movie posters, titles, and provides an autocomplete feature for user guesses. The user's performance is tracked with scoring and stored in local storage. So, and then I have the entire stack detailed, like game mechanics, scoring, all that kind of stuff, because that's typically how, when you're building something simple, you either have this spec in your mind or you write down like what you want it to do before you start coding it.
Yeah. So you got this from ChatGPT though, right? You asked it to okay.
Put it in a format for me. I typed in an ugly prompt and it formatted it nicely.
It gave you a nice spec.
And it seemingly works well for me. So like,
which we'll see here in a minute, because you're just going to put that into Cursor, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be our starting point.
Yeah, that's our starting point. So we're going to put a spec in. So if you're trying to vibe code something, I think adding a spec or a context for it to go off of will make it perform better than trying to iterate over it over and over and over again, adding stuff as you go. I think it'll be better if you can do it this way.
Yeah. Okay. You want to share?
Yeah, let's do it.
See what we're looking at. Let's
share my screen here. Is it okay? Cool. All right. So let me go back here and let me just do something else real quick here. My video capture needs to be restarted in OBS, Kevin. So,
oh, okay.
Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
It times out after a while. There we go. All right. So how's that looking now?
Yeah, that look like it. Yep.
There we go. All right. So now we're good.
This is Cursor, right?
This is Cursor. I've got it already set up into a folder, so you don't need me to create a folder. And if you've never seen Cursor before, it's very similar to how VS Code sort of looks. All right. And so the first thing that we do here is add context here. And I've got my spec here that I want to pull in here. So I'm just going to copy it. And this is from OpenAI. And I'm just going to paste this sucker in here.
I think you want to start out with something like build me an app with the following spec, kind of thing, so it understands what the spec is.
Yeah.
I think that's where we start.
Here, build me an application with the following spec.
Yeah.
And I noticed a typo right away, so I'm going to change this real quick, Kevin. TMDB API. All right, so it doesn't get confused.
Oh yeah, make sure if there's any other references in there too to that. Make sure
I did before we started.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that integrates with. There we go.
Okay.
And you can see right here, I've got the tech stack, TMDB API, local storage features, game mechanics in here. So it's pretty good. The scoring system. I gave it math, the user experience, and UI components, filters. I want you to be able to filter by decade, genre, implementation plan, game logic. So I did a lot. Okay. So this should give it the best possible avenue of building this app, right?
Let's go for
what we wanted to do is say, if I was really using this and if I went to a place to work and they're like, hey, Bobby, all we use here is Cursor. You got to build everything with Cursor. That's how we roll. Then this is what I would do. Start off with. I'm gonna hit send here and see what it does.
And what AI were we using? I didn't know this. Was it
OpenAI right now. Okay. I used all my Claude up in my free trial, so I fired Claude and went over to OpenAI. So I got to get a new programmer.
Okay. That's another thing in Cursor. You do get to decide what LLM it uses.
Yeah. So I'm using ChatGPT 4.0 right now. So we'll see what it does. Is Claude better than some people say it is? I think.
Yeah, supposedly the Sonnet reasoning version is quite good.
Yeah. But we're not paying for this yet, so we're on a free trial.
Right. Oh, which actually is a good point. Yeah. While this is building this out, let's just talk about that real quick. Because there is pricing for this.
This costs money.
It does cost money, yeah. It costs $20 a month right now if you have a pro cursor plan, or $40 for a business account.
Yeah.
There is a free version that gives you a 2-week trial, which is what we're using right now. This is literally the 2-week trial of cursor. So if there are any limitations, that's where the limitations come from.
OpenAI, Copilot, or Copilot, and I'm paying for Copilot on Office. So like I'm paying for 3 versions right now. I'll need another one. So
okay, so it's working through this. It's
yeah. I mean, I would say that what it's doing is fast. It seems slow. We're used to like this should be instantaneous, instant coffee for us, but like it's pretty quick for what it's doing.
Is it still working on this? I can't tell.
I can't either.
You're over the. You go full screen with you turned off.
Yeah, I can turn me
see
off.
Like, yeah, turn you off for a minute. I just can't see what it's doing down there because otherwise it tells you that. Yeah, I think it's done. It says, yeah, it's done, look, because it says there, before proceeding, make sure to replace. So it says next steps, look. Process and display movie data, implement logic, display auto suggestions, game logic, local storage. Before proceeding, make sure to replace TMD API key. Okay, so yeah. So it wants us to do that. So you got to click accept all, and then should create all the files, right?
Okay, so we got over here, we got this script file.
Okay.
And it's saying that your TMDP API key
right
here.
There it is.
Okay. So first off, I've got to know how to do this, and I also got to know how to get an API key. I do.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and cheat a little bit. So hopefully, if you're learning for the first time, this is pretty easy. You know, maybe you could Google, how do I get one of these keys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry about stealing my key. I'm going to change it after this. So
we don't care. It's not paid anyway.
Yeah, it's not. So now, where's my accept button here? Because I
don't think you have to accept it at this point. Once you've changed it,
the auto save, right?
Yeah, auto save is on, so it should just save it. You should just be able to, at this point, run it.
Okay, just process the movie data. Okay, let's see if it works. So over here, this works a lot like VS Code, so I could go here and open this in live server. All right. And I'll go live here and see what happens here.
See what we get. This first run. First run's always great.
Yeah, let's pull it over here.
Okay.
It didn't even show a movie poster. All right, let's just see if, and it didn't use Bootstrap either. Look at that, man. That's terrible.
It's like it didn't finish. It's like
when you added finish, man.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. I say we go back because I don't think it finished creating it.
Yeah.
I think because it still says next steps log. So let's just say, just tell it, okay, I've added the key. Please finish or something like that. We'll be polite to it. Yeah, that works. Go with that. Send that. See what it does.
All right.
Yeah, see, it hadn't finished it.
That was weird.
It was, because the first time that you tested this, it went through the whole thing, right? It didn't stop at that point. It went through the whole thing and then asked you to add the key, which is something I will say about this. Having done this like literally twice now, this version is very, very, very different than the first time it ran. And that's just something inherent with using these. It will be different every time. But that's how we vibe code. We don't want to understand it. We just want to roll with it.
Vibe it out.
Whatever it does, we're just kind of rolling with whatever it does. It's kind of one of the points. Remember, it is in a somewhat careless fashion with AI assistance.
Next step, autocomplete suggestions. Does this mean I have to do it? Is this what it's telling me?
No, try running it again. See what it does.
Okay.
See if it changed anything.
All right, we'll do it.
I say after each time we just see what it says and then just running it. Whoa.
This sucks.
So what has it done now?
Well, we know what this movie is, but like, it didn't.
Okay, let's assume it's not complete then again. Let's just tell it to complete again.
Yeah. Kill that.
Just say carry on with the next steps or something like that, or because it knows what it needs. It thinks it knows what it needs to do, right? So
Carry on. Can I use that? It's a British term. Do you think it gets it?
I don't. Because it hasn't fixed the UI at all yet, has it?
No.
It's
man,
not used
that's
Bootstrap
terrible.
at all, right?
No.
It has a CSS file though. Look, so
It does.
yeah,
And it's implementing Bootstrap. I don't know.
yeah. It
Oh,
just
look
hasn't
at
used
this.
it.
This is mid CSS. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
No, that's right,
maybe
isn't it?
that-
Yeah, that's right. No,
maybe this
that's
is right.
Yeah, it might not be the latest version. I'm not sure, but I think that's right.
Yeah.
But again, as a non-developer, you wouldn't know that. So
I may have messed it up here because it just changed it while I was doing it. All right, I'll fix that. Maybe.
just do. If it did, you can do reject, and then see down the
Right,
bottom
it's
right
over
there. where
here
it says
now. It's
accept.
kind of weird. It's over here now. It's kind of weird.
Is that just the UI's messed it up? Maybe.
I don't know. Right. Okay.
I don't know. Can you just not Control Z it?
There you go.
It says let's proceed with testing the application. Look, reopen it.
Next steps. When we go to the next steps.
No, let's open it again. Let's see what it's done.
All right.
Because it does say.
All right.
Yeah, so weird, isn't it? Okay, so first try through, definitely made a bunch of mess ups. Here's what I want you to do. Let's start a whole other new application. Now that we know what this did the first time through, let's see what it does again a second time through. Just to see what
Yeah,
it
it just
does.
doesn't work. Okay. So this
Start a whole new app. That version,
All right.
not very good. But let's start a whole new app with the exact same prompt and everything. Let's see what it does.
Okay. Open a folder. And I'm going to create a new folder here. Movie poster.
'Cause I think it's interesting to understand like
Game
how different it can be each time you run it. And then we'll work with whatever this next one is. We'll continue this next one to its fruition. Again,
Try this
create an-
again.
Yeah, build an app using the following spec. I need to preempt it. And also, before you submit this one too, when where your tech stack is, lose the word vanilla because it might
Yeah,
get
I don't know what
confused
that
with
is.
that. There was one on the tech stack section up a little bit more. You got rid of it at the bottom, but there's one in that second section. I've noticed it like because it's just a word and people often throw that around. It doesn't know that that's not a real thing and it tries to do something else with it. I think. Let's change the AI agent too. Let's see if Claude's working again.
Okay. Sonnet Max?
Yeah. No, not Max.
Oh,
That's
no.
Premium. Yeah. 3.5 Sonnet's okay. Let's see if that actually is working again. Because it wasn't working earlier. There you go.
Maybe Claude just is superior.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I do like watching what it's doing, though. But again, if you're non-technical, watching what it's doing is kind of boring.
Right.
just by the way, this is pretty funny. Arojo here says, "Hey, don't think just 5 code and get the Lambo."
And we're gonna get the Lambo, man. You can
Oh,
tell we're well on our
I
way.
think, yeah. What do you mean? This is Lambo worthy right here. What are you talking about? Yeah.
We're in the used Corolla right
Well,
now. Is what we're in.
I have a feeling
going to the
that
Lambo.
we'll have the same conclusion with you at the end here. Just say, but we're going to be open minded until then. I don't want to be accused of coming in with an outcome before we've even started. What's that saying? Let's make direct.
Does it want me to make these?
No. It should. Oh yeah, you do have to run that command. Look, yeah. Hit run command. Sometimes it'll ask you to do that. It's going to run a terminal command. Why though?
Okay.
Why is it doing that? It's capable of creating its own directory, right?
We thought
it was. I'm sure when I demoed mine, it did, but maybe not.
Okay. Definitely Claude's better coder than Chad at JetGTP. Claude is better. I think I might hire him. Okay, this is definitely different, totally different.
Yeah, it's creating different files, look, too. It's creating different JS files.
Yeah.
Created a config file. It's creating an API handling file. Create one at the end to run them all.
So I guess from this test, I'm thinking that Claude is better than ChatGPT.
Maybe, yeah.
For creating the project. Maybe once the project's created, ChatGPT is okay, but
yeah,
from a project spec, it's seemingly doing a better job.
I had seen people say that Claude was actually better at this than ChatGPT. So, yeah. And this is only the 3.5 model. There's a 3.7 model too, and the 3.7 reasoning model, which is more premium, which would probably do a better job too.
And that's a premium on top of the $20 you got to pay.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's the upsell, Kevin. That's what it is.
There's always an upsell, right?
Yeah, that's the what is it? The coating on the undercarriage in the cars.
Yeah, yeah. That's the unlock the heated seats on the BMW.
Yeah. It's our Lambo.
Or a Lambo, yes. Okay, this one's taking a lot longer too. Look, which gives me more confidence. Luke wants to know if he missed getting the Lambo yet. No, we are not at Lamborghini yet, Luke.
Y'all need to subscribe to this movie game for me to get a Lambo. So.
Yeah. We're close. we're close. I think. I mean, it's doing it. Look, so it's working hard. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're on our way.
You're seeing a Lambo being created right now.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
So you can see over here, it's creating some files over here, a lot of files.
Yeah, it is, look. It's created a bunch of JS files. That last one had
what I noticed it too, I don't know, maybe there's a setting here that shows all files. Like I know in Visual Studio it shows all files. So these should be hidden. These underscores are something to do with cursors, how it does it.
Yeah, see, mine didn't do that. When I'm not
sure, but underneath the hood,
I literally ran through it once. So. Yeah, I ran through the process once a week or so ago, just to literally download cursor and like mess with it but I spent 20 minutes, 15 minutes on it maybe, and mine didn't do that. But I didn't create this same app. I created a little image picture guessing app thing. It wasn't related to movies or anything.
Okay, it's wrote more code.
It has. It definitely has. I think this will be better out of the gate. I really do. I think the last one was almost unworkable because I don't know what it was doing. But this goes to show you too that changing the LLM does make a difference too. So that is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke says we need to vibe code a new Linux kernel. VR Linus. I'm sure that's how it gets done, man. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah. We're all vibe coding. Is the music right for vibe coding, by the way, too? Is this vibe coding music? You hear the music?
I think it's required.
Okay.
So.
I think you might be right. Yeah. Can you drag yourself, by the way, over to the other corner? Is that easy for you to do? Or not?
Maybe.
It's like the one part of the screen we need to see.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
the other one.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it if not.
I got to just get a handle on it. It's on a smaller monitor, if you must
Okay,
know.
there you go. Put it bottom left.
Bottom left down here.
Yeah, that'll work. That's better.
All right.
Doesn't matter, let it stick.
All right.
Is it done? It's done. What does it say then? Oh wow, let's give us a list of things to do. Okay, to play the game, get a down a little bit more. That's just the files it made. Get a TMD API movie database, open index, HTML in a web browser, enter the TMD API when prompted. Oh, interesting.
Okay, I got to get a key.
You do, but look what it's telling you to do too. It's actually telling you to open the index file, like run it, and then it's going to ask you for the key. That's what it's saying.
No way.
That's what it's saying. I'm just telling you what it's saying. Enter the TMDB API key when prompted is what it says.
Let me refresh that again. Okay.
There you go.
That's kind of dumb, but like whatever.
It is, but we can change it. It's fine. We can change it.
All right, let me try it again.
Vibing with it.
Paste.
Okay.
Weird.
Try refreshing it
Okay.
again.
Okay, this isn't gonna work. So let's just say let's hard code the key.
Okay, yeah. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna have the API do it, or the LLM do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was trying to be secure by saying don't put it in the code base.
Right.
Put the key
That's interesting.
in JS so we don't prompt the user. Does that sound good?
Yeah. You didn't put the word prompt in though.
Let's be specific. MDB API key.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. I agree. We should be putting that in. We don't need to be providing that every time. That's just annoying. Surely that should have been part of the config.js file anyway, though, right?
You would think. It's right here.
It just says to be filled by user, though, look.
Yeah.
So let's just let it do its thing.
Okay. Now I'm going to put my key
Well,
right
hold on.
here.
Not yet. Accept all at the bottom. Wait for it to be finished, then accept all.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise
I get ahead of myself, right?
You do, yeah. Otherwise, it won't update the files. It's still
Don't mess
generating
with the
too,
code.
look. It's still generating, so let it finish generating.
You mean we can't both type in the same time, me and Claude together?
My guess is that would end up bad. There you go.
All
accept
right,
all.
Place your accept all.
And then put it.
And I'm assuming I'll
see what
place it
happens.
right here.
Yeah. I think you got an extra E on the end of that, right? Did I miss that?
I think so.
Control Z just to see. I think you missed the last character.
Okay, we'll recopy it then.
Nah, that didn't. That's wrong. You didn't get all of it.
That's not right.
Nah. Just undo. Just undo a couple times and it'll... Yeah, see, you left the E on the end there. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Good catch there, Kevin. All right. All right, so it's auto-saved. And so now...
Run it again. Done what it says.
Okay, just start playing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
What is it trying to do with that weird grid there?
I think it doesn't know how to
click.
display
Hold on.
it.
Click new game though, just to see what it does. Gotta give it a shot. Okay, so it is pulling in something. Look, you see the thing move. Try new game again because the one square moves. Look, so it is kind of working. It's just not displaying it correctly.
Yeah. All right. So let's say that. Let's leave this up. Maybe I can go back over here.
So again, let's use like layman's terms here again. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Let's
The
just
poster is squished.
Yeah, let's go for that.
poster grid needs to fill the page.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. Let's try that.
I don't think there's a poster back there, but we'll see. Maybe it's
yeah,
just
it didn't look like there was either, did it? Because it looked like the blank
No.
square was just showing the background through. So we'll see.
Little vibe coding. What do you guys think of vibe coding? Anybody got any comments here? What do you guys think so far?
Yeah.
Is this going to work?
I'm interested. Has
Should
anybody
be
else
pulled up.
messed with this? Anybody else in chat like done anything with this and actually built anything with it?
Ooh, it's using that height calc. Minus 120. Okay.
If you have, put it in
Offset.
chat. I'm interested.
I do think one thing that is of note here, Kevin, is that we tried this morning. Just full disclosure with
Yeah.
the same prompt.
We spent
and
an
it
hour
actually
doing this
built-
morning.
and actually built it. And this time, it seemingly can't do it. And that's the problem with all these tools.
100% it
Like,
is.
It has good days and bad days, you know, like I guess like any other normal human, but like most of the time we don't. I don't accept all here. I don't know what it did.
That's you're not supposed to know what it did. It doesn't matter.
I know. I
Just
don't
roll
vibe
with
it,
it,
man.
You just fine. You're rolling with it. Just let it keep
Okay.
generating. Let it get to the end.
Okay, so
Okay.
now we have
Okay.
thing at the top here.
Yeah. Let's just try and get the poster in to start off with that thing. I think so.
Yeah, 'cause
so
don't
I
there's
think
a
this is the way
poster
to.
in here.
No, I think this is the way to vibe code with this now. Is you pick one of the problems now, and then you try and figure it out. So yeah, try choosing a decade and a genre just to see if that prompts it. Because don't forget, this might work totally different than the one we made this morning.
Yeah,
And then click new game again just to see. Okay, so yes.
I don't think the poster's in there,
I don't think it is either.
but let's see if this type ahead works. Yeah,
Oh.
and it does work. It's
Looking
just
down
weird where it
there.
is.
Yeah, it is. That's a problem we can fix. And that
Yeah,
was
so
wrong.
it's not
And it did
showing the
reveal a
poster.
second square though, look, but no poster. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
say, let's go back and say the poster isn't visible.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. I don't know if there was an audio issue or not. I don't know. It might have been on your end, might have been on ours. I'm not sure. It looks all green on my end. So
I don't know what else to say.
no, just go for it. Yeah, it's fine.
Come on, Claude. Can you fix it? We have to go over to ChatGPT. Get Chad in here.
Okay, so it's notices there's an issue. You didn't notice before we told you.
Thanks, Claude. You should have fixed it first time.
Okay, so first let's fix the HTML structure. There's a nested row that's causing issues. Okay,
Okay.
thinks it knows.
Okay. Yeah. So he came back in the image.
I'm interested also. Anybody in chat have a Cursor subscription? Anybody subscribe to Cursor?
So then it said the CSS was wrong. Let's see what the CSS is going to do.
Okay. Okay, cool, Chris. I'm glad it fixed. Thanks for not just running away and coming back. Okay. I know how you are. You look at all these things as it's fixing them, and you're always just like, "Oh, that's bad, and that's bad." And I'm like, you're like, "I wouldn't do it that way. I wouldn't do it that way." I was like, "No, that's not vibe coding. That's being too smart about this. We have to throw all abandon to the wind and just let it do what it's gonna
vibe
do."
coding lowers your blood pressure. The way I'm watching this doing it raises mine. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop.
Okay, let's accept them.
Don't.
Let's run
You gotta
this.
accept it.
What do you think? Working this time or no?
Wow, we do have something.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
people. What movie
Okay,
is this?
what movie?
Anybody got any- What movie
I don't know.
is this one? Anybody
Do
got
you
any
know?
ideas?
I don't know.
Any
The
ideas?
proportions are all wrong too, look, aren't they? Because there is a movie, but they're only behind the bottom or the four middle squares. Look, you see that?
It
By the
looks
way?
like it, or it's just bleeding through there. I'm not.
No,
sure.
it's not. The poster is in the correct ratio. The grid over the top is the
Oh.
wrong ratio.
Ooh. Yeah.
See that?
Sorry, but let's see. What is this movie? I don't
I don't
know.
know what this is. Does anybody know what this is?
Teenage. Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sure. No. Oh, this is
Okay.
that. This is Galactic Quest.
Galactic Quest, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Galactic. Did I spell it right?
Nope.
This thing is off the
Galac.
GLC
GALACTIC.
TIC Galactic Quest.
That is what it's called, right? I'm not like that is what it's called, right?
I don't know. This is not working at all. This drop down is not working at all.
Well, we'll fix that next. You guys take one thing at a time. When you fix it. Yeah, it is. GALACTIC Quest. It also didn't reveal another thing on your second wrong guess,
It did over here because there's no movie there.
Oh, okay, it did. Oh, Galaxy Quest. Come on, chat didn't get that. Come on, you should be correcting me on this.
Quest. Play
Still
again.
a great movie, even if I don't remember the name of it.
It's funny.
So the scoring thing, did the score work?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So the score work. Okay, so let's fix the. Let's see if we can fix the. What do you want to fix first? Type ahead or the image?
Image just first.
Okay.
Type ahead is lame.
Yeah, let's
So
also make
previous
the the grid is a 4x4, right? Or 4x3. Can we not just make it a 3x3?
Well,
Right,
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we want to
can
make
do
it
4 by
9.
3.
I think we do a 3x3.
Let's do it. Well, 12 worked before. So
Did we have 12 on the previous version?
Yeah, that's
Did
the
we?
default.
Okay.
So make all of the
Make the grid
posters
the correct.
in all
Yeah, the same
grids.
ratio as the poster, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
See what that does. Real technical stuff right here.
Each grid square needs to contain part of the poster.
Yes, and also mention I think you also have to mention the grid should be the same ratio as the poster.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it might stretch the poster to match the grid, and that would be bad. Oh no, because we need to clip the poster image for each cell. Do we?
Well, it's like making little squares for each one.
Okay,
I guess.
so maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of vibe coding? Do you feel the vibe?
Feeling something.
I'm not feeling it. So,
It's still generating though. Just let it.
Okay. Yeah. Hurry up, Claude. I'm impatient with Claude.
I agree, Luke. Even if I do call it Galactic Quest, it is a fantastic movie. It's funny.
So you guys give us some guesses for the next one here.
Jacob said the vibes are off, by the way.
Yeah. Someone needs to guess the next movie. So we'll put your guess on screen.
Yes.
Be brave.
Yeah. What's it doing? Now we need to update the JS. Which JS file is there? The UI JS file to properly create the grid cells with the poster sections. Okay.
It's thinking about it.
Okay. Really is thinking about it, isn't it, this time? Oh, there we go. Still thinking about the next file. Yep. Okay, so here's the changes it's made. Sure, we're cool with those. Vibe with those changes.
I'm vibing it, man. I'm feeling the vibe right now. Yeah, vibing with you, Claude.
Let's accept all and let's go. Let's see.
Is this how when you push a PR into the GitHub that the guy just accept all? Is that what he does?
I don't know.
That's what I think happens. Let's refresh just in case.
Hmm.
It broke.
It broke.
It no longer shows our poster.
Okay, so let's tell it that. The grid also isn't the correct poster proportion, is it? That's what's weird. The problem is in the HTML structure. We need to make sure the poster grid has the correct class.
Okay.
Both the HTML and the CSS.
He's using CSS to hide it, so maybe each grid. I have to go look at the code to see what he's doing.
But we're not doing that.
But I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not actually coding. We are vibe coding. I'll tell you now, there's a big difference between the two. Okay, well, I definitely changed a bunch of stuff this time. By the way, the red lines are the lines that it gets rid of or changes. The green lines are the ones that it adds in. Those that are seeing that in the file up there. When you accept those changes, that's what it's changing. Go for it. Jacob said, "I don't think I have enough self-control not to just fix the code myself."
This doesn't work.
Jacob, this is exactly what I went through this morning with Bobby. He's like, "Let me fix." I'm like, "No, don't fix it. Don't fix it. You're not supposed to know how to fix it." So it didn't change anything then on that version?
Yeah, it changed 857 lines, but it didn't do anything. Okay, you should have done that first.
He's quite confident though. Look, here's the corrected version.
Yeah.
Like this one's gonna work.
Can you imagine a human doing it this way? Oh, I see the issue. Let me do that again. You sent this bug back 4 times now, you know, like, bro, get this right. Test it before you send it over here. But we're the QAer, the tester in this regard, the project manager, the ticket maker. We're just not coding it.
Except coding it. This is the thing. We don't really. I mean, obviously, it's telling us what it's done, but when we're vibe coding, we don't really care what it's done. We're just roll with whatever it's done. We're never going to tell. Okay.
This sort of works because I can tell we have like the grid lines there, so we've got a poster.
Yep.
Any ideas, anyone?
My guess is it's also the proportion of the poster is wrong, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like it stretched the poster wide, which is okay for now, but I'm guessing it's going to take that into account when you're guessing the poster. I don't know that it's done that.
Blonde-haired girl with a kind of flowery background.
The problem is her head there looks in proportion, so I'm thinking it's actually just taken the top part of the poster here, and this isn't actually stretched. Well, let's just guess anything, and we'll see what it reveals.
Let's see. Captain America. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Okay, so that's thingy, right? Isn't that Meg Ryan on the right hand side there? Isn't that who that is?
I don't know who that is. Anybody got any ideas?
Like it to me, before? But I don't know. This looks not like my genre.
The Notebook? That's the only one I can think of.
Sure. I've never seen it, but sure. You get this right.
Oh, no.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's... What is it?
It's been
it's duplicated it. Oh, okay.
Okay, Love Actually. I know that's not it.
I don't think that's it. I know that one. That's a very English movie. Oh, it's not who I thought it was. I haven't. Oh, it's George Clooney.
Stuck? Oh, that's a young George Clooney.
I don't know what. And is that Michelle Pfeiffer then? But I don't know what movie they've been in together. Just get it wrong and let's just play again.
Let's see here. Let's see. I don't know.
I don't know either. We need part of the title so we can reveal one of those squares so we can get part of the title.
Most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, and of course.
It's not doing a very good at randomness here, is it? You know, but it's definitely didn't put a cover on this. It's definitely repeated
No.
the cover.
Yeah, I was
One
way
fine day.
I was way off.
Jacob knows it.
Oh, Jacob. Okay.
Yes, we got a 20. One fine day.
Just play again, just to make sure that it makes the same error and duplicates the card again. Yeah, it does. Look. Okay.
Is this Hot Fuzz? Is that what that is?
No, definitely not Fuzz.
Okay, you would know that one right off the bat, right?
I know that one a million times. This is like one of those
30 or
30 something of. I have no idea. Again, not really my genre. This one.
I have no idea who this movie is either.
I don't know. So we know So we know we got to fix that.
Yep. All right, let's fix it.
You watch. It's going to remove it and break it, or it's going to show it down the middle again.
And we'll give it a hint. It needs to cover.
See, that's okay. Too technical.
Cover it in quotes, like, Object fit cover. Come on.
It's going to put some weird no repeat on it because you said
the
word repeat. Watch.
Some guy Nightly Dev asked what model we're using. We are using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. We initially tried ChatGPT, and that was a total disaster, and we started over.
Yes. Where do you see that? I don't even see that comment.
I'm just looking at the chat here. Live chat.
Why is all of my chat?
Nothing like vibe coding. You do drink more tea while you're doing this because your hands aren't on the keyboard constantly.
Yeah, we're on Claude 3.5.
Okay, we'll accept all. I don't know what you did there, Claude, but let's see.
Okay.
I know what this movie is.
I do too. Because it's kind of ghosted under it too, right? Can you see the ghosting under it? Yeah.
What is it? 10 something lane?
Overfield lane.
There we go.
Let's just guess it right and see what it comes. Yeah, it's still duplicated the poster. Look, it didn't fix anything.
Still duplicated it.
It didn't change anything. What changes did it make?
It doesn't matter. We got to vibe it. It's still duplicating or repeating the poster.
I think we need to be more explicit about, like, maybe it doesn't understand what, like, duplication means in that context because it thinks maybe it's showing the same poster over and over again.
Yep. He's fixing it. Now he's talking like a coder. He's telling me what's going on here. I said to him, probably.
Jacob said 846 lines of... He said 846 lines of code changed just to not fix the poster. It's crazy.
Yeah. And he turned it in. Just imagine a real dev doing that, Oh, I got to fix. Sure. No, you don't. Okay, let me I see the problem. Let me fix it now. Do we believe Claude? We're losing trust in Claude.
Maybe. Nightly Dev said he's had better luck with 3.7, so maybe let's try 3.7 next too when we give it another prompt.
Well, that's because you got to pay for it. We're not
No. The 3.7. There is a version of 3.7 we can use, but there's also a premium version of 3.7.
I will change it. All right. So Claude 3.5 is getting fired after this one.
Yeah.
You got canned from my dev team. And let's see. You got one more chance. Let's see what he's got here. Nothing. He broke it. All right.
Let's try 3.7. Not the 3.7 max. Yeah, just 3.7 regular. Yeah.
So what I did, I called the recruiting firm and said, "Hey, get me a new guy in here." They said, "Well, this guy's way better." Okay.
This guy, he's also named Claude. He's just
it's Claude.
He's got a little bit more experience.
He's a little better though. He went to 2 boot camps. So.
He's got a little bit more experience.
He didn't go to Coder Foundry, but he's better. All right. The image does not show on the grid. Can you fix that?
And then when we're done with this part, we'll see if this works. I want to do 2 things before we wrap up. I want to show the version that we made earlier.
Yeah, which worked.
Which worked and was using the same. We did exactly the same thing we're doing here right now. So it did work, and we did use 3.5 to do the one earlier too, by the way. Well, actually, mix of 3.5 and OpenAI, so we use ChatGPT as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the problem. Yeah. So 3.7 is not. Try it one more time though, just to see.
It's still working on it.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like you pay for this, and then you're like really dependent on the models being available. Which I guess we're dependent on the internet, but this seems to be way more finicky.
Yeah. Hopefully this fixes it though. Just keep trying. Because it's done part of it already, look. So maybe we'll just keep bit point. There we go. Accept all and run it. See what we get. No,
all right, refresh it just in case.
No. Try changing the genre and whatever too, just to see if it generates a new poster, just to see if that.
All right. It does change.
So it does change. So it is regenerating.
Oh, look at this! It's got a lot more things in there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. It liked romance. Maybe it didn't pick a poster.
Maybe.
Let's go action.
No, because it's not showing. Look. Or is it showing and it's just in the middle and we just can't see it?
Only romance movies.
No, it's not. No, change it. It's showing on the left-hand side now. The grid doesn't cover it. That's what's happening here. The image is all the way to the left and not to the right. There you go. So it's probably correct now. Let's pick a genre and let's guess.
Adventures. That is Idris Elba.
That is Idris Elba. What movie is he in though? Like an action?
What was that plane movie he was in? Hijack?
Yeah, but wasn't that on TV? Movie, right? Or is that a movie or is that a show? I thought it was a show.
Or maybe it was.
I thought it was a show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Guess something else and see what it's actually done. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just put this comment up too, Bob, because I think we'll agree with this. Nightly Dev says Claude really shines when starting from scratch with clearly defined expectations and undesired features. Interested to see how it handles context like this. Yeah, we've noticed that too. Like, it'll have a decent shot at the first time, and then when you try and change stuff in it, it does pretty bad. We gave it a pretty good.
I gave it this spec here, Nightly Dev.
We gave it a pretty detailed spec. So we didn't just say like, hey, make this movie. No, we were pretty detailed with the spec. And it didn't build it off the date. But it shouldn't also, right? It's not going to build it right the first time. The point is when you're vibe coding, you're supposed to kind of iterate and do stuff and kind of run with it. And you're supposed to be able to change stuff. Pull up the version from earlier, Bobby, that we made. The one that we spent. Okay. We literally spent from like 10 until 11 this morning. We did this exact same task just to be like, hey, is this going to be worth watching before we actually go do this?
See if I can find it here in my movie.
And we actually came up with one that worked and looked way better than this. And we only we spent less time doing it.
I think this is it right here.
This is it. Yeah, this is gonna be it. There we go. Make it full screen too.
Yeah. So it did this, and it kind of got it. So like
it did, and it actually genuinely worked too. Like the guessing and everything worked. The type ahead worked out of the gate.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So.
That's an arm, an elbow, and then.
Is it? Let's see a foot. I
couldn't tell you.
Got 4 guesses left though.
Any guesses, anyone? Black Iron Submarine. That's definitely that.
It's definitely that.
Okay, so this is gonna be her face, and
2
then
legs.
her feet are up in the air.
No. There's 2 legs going down into the water or something.
Yeah.
Don't know. Keep guessing something else. There's another square.
Captain Conan. Thanks a lot.
You got 2 guesses left. I don't know, you need some of the word that's on here before you can get it if you don't.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't help.
Does not help. We'll guess again. Inherent Vice.
Never heard of it. So, play again. Let's see. But there you go. So the mechanics of this worked. Look, it actually made something that's cool.
Yeah.
Click this stats button too, Bobby, because that was interesting as well, because that actually worked as well. Look, it gave us the stats actually worked. So some of the things that we changed on this from the original version to what we ended up with here, we had the stats were showing on the screen, and we had them we put it in a modal, and it was like, sure, I can do that, and it put them in a modal. The type ahead worked out of the gate. The poster nearly worked, didn't it? It had the correct proportions as it does now, except it revealed more of it, like behind the black squares, which is kind of weird. It's Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked, but not exactly right. Must be the newer one. Or the original. Is it the newer one? I don't know if it's the original one or the new one. What was the new one called that was on Netflix or whatever?
I don't even show the first one on here. There we go, baby. It's Cop 1984. But this is 2020, so it's not that.
Yeah, there was a newer one. Yeah. It was on Netflix.
And there was Axel.
You go. Oh, is that what it was called? Foley was his last name. I don't know if that's what it was called.
Was it Foley?
Yeah. Is that what the show was called, though?
Yep, this was it. There you go. All right, so that was our vibe coding. Kind of worked here. It's kind of nice green and red thing. Was kind of cool.
But here's the point. Look how much different this one looks than the other one that we just couldn't get to this point.
Yeah.
They are
and
very
that's
different.
my problem with this whole thing is that every day is going to be a different day with this. A lot of times the context matters a lot, but this has the same context.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally different results.
Exactly.
Same model, same IDE made it the same day. So like, just results may vary.
You want to go back to full screen?
What do you do? So like, what do you do? I mean, like, if this was a real project and you're in a real place, I mean, it seems like the best thing you can do for the current project where you just failed on was to start over. But you can't do that with every project. You know, if you've been working on something for 6 months, you can't just start over.
Right.
Right.
You put yourself back to full screen for a second.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So there's that, and also there was another thing I wanted to show too, actually, because like when we were working on this earlier, Jacob actually jumped into your office and was like, "Hey, did you guys see that tweet about vibe coding?"
Right.
We're like, "No, we haven't." But this was the this was the tweet. So this guy Leo says he built a SaaS on Cursor. Didn't know anything about coding. It's also a builder. This was on March 15th. And PS, just people pay for it. So he had a paid app, SaaS. 2 days later, he was under attack. So random things were happening. API key usage went through the roof, bypassing subscriptions, creating random stuff on his database.
Yeah.
He's not technical and didn't know how to fix it. This is one of the biggest things, and I think this is the differentiator here. Vibe coding and knowing nothing about coding and building with these apps, you can build like these little things. It might take you a while. You can build something, and if you don't know how to fix it, you're never going to be able to fix it because you don't know how to fix it technically.
Right.
There is a massive difference between that and delivering a product that somebody asks for, or multi-user, or actually deploying something. Clearly, this guy deployed this app. He hadn't hidden his API keys, obviously.
Right, yeah.
And they just got stolen. There's a lot of
what
problems.
I would say is this movie guesser app is still in the junior territory. Like,
sure.
Yeah, there's some complexity about like how do I grid up the thing, but like that's about it. Everything else is pretty basic. I need to pull back a poster and obscure it somehow,
Right?
And then match the title to the title they entered in the text box. It's pretty basic.
Yeah,
and it struggled mightily with that. So 2 out of 3 times. So like, you know, I could probably do it again and maybe it works better, you know?
Right. And this,
but I would never get that result.
just go to Iterativ's comment here. Maybe vibe coding is seeing if you vibe with it and what it makes, and if not, make something new with different expectations. Yeah, and that's kind of my point. Is like, sure, it can it can make something, it can do different things than you expected, and that might maybe it'll be like, oh, it'll make it this way, and like that's interesting. But you will never, ever, I will say this right now, the way that this is right now, you will never make an application that you could push out that it will be fully complete vibe coding. Never. Because it won't do what you want it to do if you understand all the technical things. You've just seen it. We couldn't even get it to do the poster thing right. It will never do that.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting is like I go back in that code and probably review it and fix it. And then you're like, do I want to use Cursor for that? Like, so would I rather use VS Code? And while this is VS Code, like very like VS Code, would I rather use VS Code, especially if I'm using Blazor? I'm definitely wanting to use Visual Studio. I don't want to use Cursor as my IDE. And that's the other thing. You're buying into their IDE, their ecosystem, plus their AI models. And I get it. You could change the code and prompt it, but you can do that with Copilot too.
Right.
So,
which is probably the better way, right? I would say if you're going to use an AI, the Copilot one where you understand the things and you're just coding. Using Copilot to, you're coding. You have to understand the code base and you're not just letting it run wild with it. Because that's the problem with vibe coding. Your understanding is you're letting it literally run wild and make whatever changes it wants to make. And it goes down a path that seemingly it could just never come back from.
It just doesn't know what it's.
It made the decision about the grid, and no matter what it did, it was never going to change that grid to get the images and the same thing and match them up. And like, it was just, I don't think, maybe eventually it would have done. I don't know, but how long are you going to prompt it for? You know?
Yeah, and that's something he's saying the guy on Twitter deserves it. Like, well, no, that's what people are pitching this for.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, but like, welcome to the pros. I mean, like you release a product for pay, which I think everyone should inspire to do. That's great, but like, it will get hacked if it can be.
Right.
It's just the way it is. I mean, like, that's just the way.
I mean, he's learning. I'll tell you that for sure. He's put out this product. He's learning about security the hard way, but he's learning.
Yeah, exactly. So. I do think that vibe coding, as far as like the Anthropic CEO saying yesterday that all coding will be 100% AI developed by the end of the year is just complete fantasy and fiction. Like, there's just no way. What we're looking at, Cursor or Copilot, what I would put is the best of the pinnacle of what you're seeing in the market right now. And it can't make a poster app consistently. So we haven't added a database or a framework or anything else.
No, we've tried to keep it kind of like the most complex thing we added here. Yeah, the most complex thing we added was the fact that it had an API. That was the point that was like, well, let's just not make something that's purely front end. Let's add at least something that has to pull something from somewhere to make it a little more complex. We got to run a lot more things
from the console to make it work. And like, there's a lot more to this when you start getting to it. It's really difficult. So like, I think it's got a lot more work to do.
When I messed with it a week ago, I had to make like a GeoGuessr type of app, not quite as complex. I said, get me a picture of somewhere, and then let me guess from 4 guesses. I put 4 buttons on the screen. I did a spec with like four buttons, and let me guess which one it is. The first time it ran, it actually kind of worked. I was like, oh, this kind of works, but it was limited in the data set, right? So it only had like, I think it was like 10 places, and it just kept repeating through them. So my first prompt was like literally just like, hey, can you add more places to the data set and make them a little more obscure? It completely broke it. It added a totally different kind of like, the object type was different, and it just never worked from that point on. It just kept showing the same picture over and over and over again. It eventually got to the point where it replaced all the picture URLs with the same URL, and it wouldn't show anything but a picture of Machu Picchu. And I was like, and I couldn't get the AI to change it. I could see the problem, and even if I explicitly told it the problem, it could never fix itself. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going down this rabbit hole of just, the first attempt was okay. Every iteration over that, it just got worse and worse and worse, which I think, based on what's happened to us then, that seems to be what happens. It doesn't have the context to fix it for some reason. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a good, and I think Iterative made that point at some point, like basically like it's a good starting point, which maybe not. I mean, like what I would say is like, if you're trying to build it, like I'm trying to build this for our sub-base course. So like, would I start with this when I know that it's like 80% broken, or? Well, it's going to be inconsistent. It's not. Yeah. We could never put something like this in a course because it's inconsistent as a starting point. Now, if I was building this and it would do it in one shot and it was just for me, some kind of application that was purely just for me to use, maybe it would work. maybe I could prompt it initially 20 times, and one of the times it spits out an app that does what I need it to do, right? Maybe that's good enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it has a case. I just don't think it's a very good use case.
It's just okay. I mean, like, I think it's like you could use it once and it's deceptively really good. Like, it's like you're like the first time we did it this morning, we're like, wow, that's
yeah, we're like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And then I come here in the second time fully expecting we're going to build something similar or at least equal to it, and we can't get it to work. So it's like, wow, that's two scenarios like are widely different, you know, as far as the capabilities of it. And so if you can't rely on it, you can't run a company on this. I mean, you can't hire 40 prompt engineers and hand them cursor and expect to build something. Like, I just don't think.
Well, we know you
possible.
can't build something to spec with it. That's the issue. As soon as it, and that's not what vibe coding is. We're not talking. If we're talking about vibe coding, it is rolling with the punches. It's like, yeah, you kind of give it a spec, but it's loosey goosey. It's kind of like, yeah, let it do what it's going to do, and it's like that's okay. But if you're building to something to a spec, you can't use this.
Yeah.
If somebody's coming to you, if a customer is coming to you and saying, hey, my inventory management system needs to add this feature now, you can't AI add that in here. It doesn't work.
Not with cursor.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe there's some rules things in there, and there's other people that probably say that you could do it. But like at the end of the day, even if you could like make it better, like it's just the developer knows what he's doing is going to outperform this all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Could he build could a junior build this in one day? Yeah. Could we prompt this maybe in 2 or 3 hours? Maybe. But we could definitely, so like, you know, if everything being equal, this is faster maybe because it types faster. But I think quality is what matters. I mean, at the end of the day, it has to work. And so that's where, that's how apps are judged.
Right.
Yeah.
So no Lambo?
I heard it once. One guy told me one time that I was working for, and he says, no one remembers if you're late. They always remember if you deliver it broken.
Right.
And that stuck with me forever. Like, yes, they're mad when it's late, but if it works, they get over it eventually, and they won't remember that 6 months from now. But man, you deliver that thing and it's broken, they never forget it. Like, you know, so they never forget it. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you lose confidence in the AI when he's came back 4 or 5 times just trying to pick the picture. You know, it's like he can't do it. I've lost confidence in it. So,
so you're telling me there's no Lambo then? I'm going to have to go back and now change this card and title, aren't I? Maybe I'll have to change the card to be like, the title's going to be vibe coding, not on our way to a Lambo. I don't think we've delivered on the promise of vibe coding to the Lambo. We
didn't even get to the PayPal integration yet, you know, where you pay to guess the movie.
This is true, yeah. We haven't even added in the, that's true.
Integration. We wanted the pop-up ads, you know, like the Google ads in the top, you know.
Maybe that's next week. Maybe we'll do the paid tier
next week.
Maybe not. Okay.
So I'm going to go back to doing it by hand. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Let's get out of here. I'm going to vibe code myself some application and get it up there paid. The Lambo. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll see. Anybody got any suggestions before we roll?
Yep.
Okay. Let's get out of here. Lunchtime.
All right. Later, guys. Keep coding.
We'll catch everybody later. Thanks.